Okay, the recording is starting now.
Sure. I was saying I'll do a small presentation and then we'll see an example. Let me know once my screen is up.
Okay. All right. So, Namrata, I see that you have shared your application. We will let Neha to get started now. So you can relinquish. Neha, go ahead and
Yes.
start sharing.
Sure.
Is it visible?
Hmm.
Okay. This is my app. Aim higher. Whenever I have done this and I have provided the backend for this app also. Whenever I try to log in like this. So it is signed in successfully, but sometimes it is unable. It is unable to. I am unable to
Unable
sign
to
in.
log in.
Yes,
Mhm.
unable to log in even though I'm an admin, and it shows various warnings like any other user can also uh, uh,
Access it. Yes, correct.
access it and yes, access it and get the admin role. So I was trying to develop it or modify it, but I was unable to do so here.
Mhm.
So I have explored the various options, but I was unable to do so. So I was asking for troubleshooting methods. Is it possible through vibe coding, or should I go for the traditional coding?
If you know traditional coding, that's the best way to do it. But yeah, even vibe coding can help you here. So there are a couple of things that you can do. Okay, you
Okay.
can. The problem that you are facing is this: you are working in the preview mode. What you will have to do is publish this site. Have you hit publish here?
Yes.
Okay. Can we see? Click on publish. There is this aim higher hyphen nodes hyphen hub. Could we open this live URL? Could you copy it and open it in the browser?
Is it visible
The
now?
problem, yeah, yeah. What happens? Uh, you see that every application would have user accounts associated with it, and that user account, or it is technically called authentication information, is stored in the
Yes. Yes.
database. What is happening? That information is not created in the database. You haven't, do you have in the backend Supabase, which is called Supabase? There is a database in which these usernames and passwords are stored, from where Lovable brings up that information, right? Is that thing,
Yes.
does that thing exist? One. And secondly, whether it has multiple accounts. What is happening if you are saying admin and give a password, and if you are trying to if two different people are trying to access the same account, the Lovable does not allow that. One session,
Okay.
one login, which is why other people were not able to log in. So what you can do, first thing you can ask that in the Lovable window, go back to the prompt and say, I want to create three separate users and give the
Okay.
username and password, just the same way you have for your email accounts, right? You have to do the same thing and create them and then
Okay.
ask your yeah. And you should always access it from not from the preview but from here that you
From the
have opened in a browser. This is your published application. When people will start accessing it from here, they will be able to access it. Okay.
okay. I have
Sorry,
one more
Neha, I
question.
jumped in. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to disturb. I have one more question. You said Supabase storage, right? Earlier
Mm-hmm.
I have tried it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have asked for the backend permission also for the
Mm-hmm.
uploading and downloading the notes and books also, but it was unable. It was unable to provide the. So I was asking if it
Mm-hmm.
is a prompting problem by my
No,
side
no,
or
no, no. It has nothing to do with it. Actually, the database that is being created is, if you go back to your lovable window, let's see if we can access it. What happens? These data files are saved in code format, and you have to actually open a Superbase account. So what happens? Just like your email account, there is a Superbase account, a free account that you can create and try to access it. And before that, you should make sure that you are connected. Your Lovable is connected to your own Superbase account. Then you have just log in, just like you log into your Gmail, you can log into your Superbase account and you see the same tables, the same data that is being created for your app in there.
Okay. So I have to
Okay.
create.
Yeah, I showed you. If you, I think you have seen the loom that I created for this purpose, the connectors, right?
Yes.
So go ahead and create that. What I would suggest that you create a because this project has already advanced. So Lovable will not be able to create the database again in your account for the same. You will have to start from the scratch, create it all over again, and then you will see in your account, Superbase account, the data for your new aim higher application,
Okay.
right?
Is it
Because
fine?
Lovable doesn't know that right now, Lovable doesn't know that you have a Superbase account. Once you create that account, you have connected it with your Lovable. Only then it will be able to create it for you. There.
Okay. Thank
Am
you.
I
I
making
think
sense? Okay, I'll
yes,
try to
yes,
show you.
got it.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I wanted to ask. But is it fine if I can ask you to just to showcase that Superbase thing?
Yeah, that's I'm trying to see if I have it open. Okay, let me try and share my screen as well. Give me a moment, huh? Okay, in the meantime, I'm just cutting Neha every time she tries to speak, I just jump in.
No,
So
I
I
don't
guess
know. I think we are a community and we're all learning. And it's better
Yeah.
okay,
that
okay.
you jump in because I'm not very familiar with Lovable platform.
Uh-huh.
Vibe coding, I usually so I mostly work on the back end side. So I'm more interested in what happens at the computational level. The
Mhm.
front end comes later for me, so I'm not very familiar with Lovable. So it's better that you jump in for all of these kind of questions.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen now. Hmm.
Yeah, I will go off camera for a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, okay. Right now, I'm showing the screen my Supabase account. You see, this is basically my dashboard. This I'm logged into it, and this is what I see as soon as I log in. So this thing is a project. This is my project, which is connected to this Supabase application. Right? How it happened? Because before I created that application, I created a connector here. A connection. What happens? If you don't create a connector, you don't, you don't specify in the settings your own account, Lovable creates its own Supabase instance and populates it with data, but it is not visible to you. So you cannot control it. It remains in the backend. It has your data, but you have no access to it. If you want to go into that database, like I'm here, going here, and I'm going to see the tables and the data inside it. You see, this is the kind of data that we have. And I can also change it, but that is only possible after I made the setting here in the connectors, which is the point that I was trying to make. So I have actually done this before. So which is why your existing aim higher project will not work. So you will have to recreate that project again.
Okay.
And before you do that, you do this connection, manage connected organization. Okay, see, this is how it is done. It's pretty straightforward. You log into this superbiz.com. Let me see if I can. Okay. Generally, it opens the account for me directly.
So Mugdha,
Mhm.
Supabase is only for database, or does it also store our code?
It's only for database. You can see that. So it's Postgres development platform that you can see. So it also provides authentication. And this is what I wanted to come to. There's something called authentication. Okay. My application has only one admin user. So for that, I had to create a user here. I had to specify this email ID and a password. Password is encrypted, so you can see it. But this is what is needed. Same thing, Namrata. In your
Yes.
application too, you will need to create users. So if you see in this project, you have to go to authentication. This is very important. Say you want your students to have access to the application, right? So what you will do, you will create add user, create new user, give their email addresses and set up passwords, and then do create user, right? And when you do that, only then your aim higher application will be able to, they will be able to log into it and give them this set of username and password. Say, for example, I create a user here, namrata dot whatever, gmail.com, and set up a password and give the password to you. Only then you will be able to access my application using those credentials. They are called credentials, right? Am I making sense? Are you understanding how to do that?
Yes, yes, I'm getting it.
Yeah. So this is something specific to Lovable. Lovable has the authentication managed here. So because Supabase already comes with authentication, so just create as many users that you want manually. And also you can, within the application, you can give a command like I want user registration facility in my website. You prompt it like that and tell them that this is my Supabase project. Use this to store authentication, right? Every uh, Supabase project that is connected to application, they have this URL. Serious? So this thing you need to provide to your whatever application. Yeah. Say something like create a user registration interface, or rather functionality. Users provide their name and unique email ID, perform input validation, on successful validation, create user account, okay, account to be saved in My Supabase. Projects authentication. Right? So you see, this is something that you can do. Let's see how does this respond. This is one way to do it. More or less, it should succeed. I think it will succeed. And this is pretty straightforward. It might say that this is not the same project that it is using because this preview, what should I say? There is something called development database and a production database. So what we see here is the development database. Consider it like a rough copy and fair copy that we used to have in the school, right? So there are two different databases. What we see here, so it will only change this development database, not the production one. Okay, should the user set a password? Yeah. See, new register root. Yeah. Yes, verify email. So, so see, it asked me questions here. What to do? What things I have to do? So what I answered here, I want a new page created, which will ask users to register. Uh, it asked me whether the email should be verified because email should be in a certain format, right? And whether it is an actual email. If you gave Namrata called stupid.com, it will not accept it because it would actually send an email and check whether this is a real email
Okay.
ID. It won't let you register unless you provided an actual email ID. This is what it is asking, right? So yes, verify email. So you can see here on the screen, you see the questions asked, the answers that I provided, and let's see if it could actually do that. Generally, Lovable is successful in doing that. I am always surprised that it understands really, unstructured kind of comments that I give. Sometimes I directly speak to it. It still is able to understand. I do a lot of things better than my even my own thought process. So I think it will do it right.
I think it's also giving those prompts well. I mean, verification of email and all.
Hmm.
Other apps don't do that proactively. I think Lovable also has this security features inbuilt.
Yes, correct,
That
correct.
is what
That
is
is something I
coming.
wanted to show after this. You
Sure,
see
sure.
here, his four errors are there. Okay, create registration table. See, so it is already saying, it is already preparing that. Okay, in the meantime, I also wanted to show the security issues, and Neha will talk about this. I hope it doesn't stop. Try and open it. No, it doesn't open as well. So this is something very important because any application, if it has any security issues, it will go blank. You will not be able to publish it. Lovable actually stops you from publishing any applications with serious security concerns because it affects their own infrastructure if there is any attack on such kind of weak application. So let's see what are the errors. Let's stop, I think. So these are security, these things that we see here are the result of a security scan. You can see there is an update scan here, right? I did the scan last night when I did one iteration of the application. Every time I make an update in the application, I go here and update, and I see something like this. There are three critical errors, and four warnings. Warnings you can ignore, but error you should resolve. Okay, in the meantime, this thing is going on and on. It will take some time actually. So I hope, Namrata, I explained some of the things that you need to do at your end. You understood that, right? You have to
Yes,
create
yes.
authentication. And before that, way before you go there, you have to create a Supabase account. You have to connect it to your Lovable, recreate your application, and then give a command like I did, create user accounts.
Yes. I'm
Okay?
gonna do it again.
All right. So I'm stopping sharing and let's begin what Neha has to say. And once this thing is done, I'll show you what it is. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, Neha. It's, okay, we can see your screen. You are on mute. Sorry.
Mm.
The screen is up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that happened another time. Okay, so I was saying it's good that we started with an example because I wanted to emphasize the exact same thing. What we typically do is we build the feature and then we start thinking about identifying gaps in the security. But with Lovable and with couple of other apps, we can actually do it right at the start, and it's better to do it in the first prompt itself that we want to develop a secure app. The architecture gets planned accordingly. So whenever we'll see an example of how this is done, but whenever we are explaining the features, we also explain that we want to embed the security right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we bridge the gaps between uh, doing the post fix rather than, I mean, allowing the security threads to get embedded in our code in the first time itself, doing it right first time. So
Mm-hmm.
there are three
Correct.
layers where we should take care of the security aspect. One is the front end, and we'll dive into each of these layers. I have kept it very simple for everyone to understand. But three layers. First is the front end. Second is if at all we are doing any routing, saving some data in database or redirecting to some URLs or fetching data from outside uh, websites and then bringing it to our apps or using some LLMs in between for any kind of processing. So that's where the routing piece or edge server piece comes in. And the third is where we just saw an example, database. Either the user data is stored or products database or anything else that is coming from tables is stored. So these are the three layers where we need to perform the security checks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First, the input layer. So, like we saw one example, right? This email thing. It asked us whether we want to validate or verify the email. Email verification also has two aspects. One is actually we send an OTP or a verification link to the email and get it verified. Other could be a very simple check where it checks whether it's in the email format, something at something.com. So that's the format, or something.in. So all of these standard validations are checked with a library called Zod. So these come with standard inputs for different kind of data sets. So if it's a name, let's say, you'll see on various websites that minimum 3 characters are required. Surname is it should not start with a uh, symbol. These kind of standard checks is what we should embed in our inputs wherever we are taking all of these form like fields, right? Age should be a number between let's say 0 to 120, something like that. These checks can be built with Zod. And this can be a part of our prompt that I want the application to follow or validate my inputs with Zod. Second is similar, validate and sanitize all the user inputs. So in this also, I think we can apply limits. Uh, for example, file size. If there are any uploads or images that we are taking from the user, or camera input if we are taking it from the user, then we can apply limits uh, so that whatever they do on the app doesn't turn out to be malicious for us.
Mm-hmm.
Databases are not impacted, or other users who are using the site don't face a rate limit or a memory limit because of one user. So these are
Mm-hmm.
the kind of inputs we consider at the front end. And we always design with this mindset that anything that the user is going to do is going to be malicious for us. We design with that kind of a mindset.
Is it what it is called zero trust? Or
Zero
is it
trust,
something?
yes. Yes, that is what it is called. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Just to touch upon that ZOD once more that you have explained,
Uh-huh.
you are saying that uh, the validations are built into the application front end, rather client side and server side using
Yes.
ZOD. So are
Yes.
we saying that are we setting the limits or the rules using ZOD, or they are into the application, but ZOD is used to check them? What it does
It's a
basically?
library which comes with these standard checks. For
Mhm,
example, wherever we are inputting the name, we use the
mhm,
name checker. So that there it will accept minimum 3 characters as a check. So it's a standard library, but it is also customizable. Instead of 3, if your application requires it to be 5, you can customize it.
mhm. Okay. So basically, that is where
You
you
don't have to
specify the
worry
rules.
about
Yeah.
validating the inputs on your own.
Mhm. If you can show us some piece of code where this is done,
Mhm.
can we, for example, go into Lovable and
Well,
say
let's
use this
use this
library for?
library. Let's see. So I have this app. This is a very simple, something basic I just developed. So what we have here is sugar gradings. Indian products don't come with this ABCD ratings, right, for content of sugar. So I just enter the name of the product and the sugar contents, um, and it gives me the ABCD classification. So, what I could do here is I make the product name mandatory, or uh, if I add an authentication layer on top of this, I make the name of the user as a mandatory field, and I add the ZOD input validation on top of it. For now, what I can do is this the sugar levels are per 100 gram, right? So my input here cannot exceed 100 grams. So that is something I can apply. Let me see, does it already take that limit? Oh, it does. So let's fix that. Use input validation with for sugar. Oh, I'm in the plan mode. So this is what you wanted to see, right? Where does it actually go?
Hmm.
So this is the
Yes,
schema
correct.
that is defining. Minimum becomes 0, maximum becomes 100.
Hmm.
Because we are
Correct,
doing
correct.
students. I did not give the limit, right, but
Mhm.
it adjusted as
Automatically gets it.
right.
Mhm.
And these are the kind of commands that it already has. Z string. So it understood that this is a number, and product name has to be a string.
Correct.
So that's the
So,
kind of validations that we can do on the input layer or front end layer.
Right. So you have, as we just saw, you achieved that input validation check by
Mhm.
specifying it in a prompt. You didn't have to go into the code. Namrata, I hope you were paying attention. So what we saw that Neha simply prompted saying that I want this range for such and such field or this input validation for sugar per 100 grams feed, and Lovable was able to add it on its own. She didn't have to go into code to specify anything. So that ensured that the user always enters the right value, which is very important because we cannot always expect the user to enter the right value. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि लोग इनपुट यूजर नेम की जगह पासवर्ड डालते हैं. So I always do that. So that kind of thing happens.
Right, or
So
if there are
you
too
have to
many
be,
fields, the people get confused, right?
yeah,
The labels or values get interchanged. Or
correct. So
some
which is
people
why,
like to play around, so they they would enter A
yeah,
and A, and that will skew your data.
exactly. Yeah. So this is a good example how to,
Right. There are
enforce.
a couple of other things on the front end layer actually. I don't think that's valid for Lovable, but if we are doing it on some other app, let's say mm, using VS Code, GitHub Copilot, or Cloud Code, what happens is it tries to minimize the number of files that it creates, and then it will give you the whole application in JavaScript in just one file. Everything is in the front end,
Mhm.
so that also becomes dangerous. Let's say this was 100 ka threshold, right? Let's say instead of sugar, I was adding some marks for some exam for some person, and I entered those marks. But because all of the code is in the front end and in JavaScript, I can actually go here, do inspect element, and actually change the threshold there. Any user can do that. So we don't want that to happen. We always want this, those thresholds or passwords or uh, all of those things that we don't want to change. We want them to be in a protected layer. So I think here it is already doing that using this Supabase. Within the Supabase, it adds functions. So that's where all of the secured or all of the functional logic is residing within this. All of my labels, for example, the thresholds here, right? I don't want anybody to come and change these thresholds. These are standard. Otherwise, somebody will put in 100 at A, and all everything gets classified as a good, healthy product. That is not something that we want to happen. So uh, we should avoid having important thresholds in the front end layer, which is the JavaScript layer. We should always have it for Lovable. We should always have it in the Supabase layer. Able to follow, or should I show some example?
I think Namrata is not here. And I understood.
Sure. Okay, I think it's pretty straightforward. We'll jump to the next layer, I think. So the second piece was where we are doing routing of some kind, either visiting other websites or taking data from other websites. Uh, so in that case, or if our data resides in some other database other than Supabase, if we are routing to some other database, in that case, what do we take care of? One is rate limiting. Uh, we don't want bots to operate and fetch data at a frequency that it loads the whole site and doesn't allow other users to use it. That's something we don't want to happen. That's why we use rate limiting. This again becomes a part of our prompt. Second is rate limiting applies to places where we are using LLMs as well. Although LLMs have their own rate limiting, we want to prevent somebody from consuming too many tokens from our LLM. So we rate limit it in the front end or in the routing layer.
Kritika, I'm hoping you are making sense of this. If you have any thing like you don't understand a concept, you can always ask a question, right? So
Yes,
this
yes.
is,
No,
yeah.
it's a simple, like, I can understand. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Because I
Sorry,
have
Neha. Go ahead.
implemented Supabase and each function.
Okay, great. In that case, fine. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Oh, I flipped the screen.
I actually, this is for something new concept for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, when you say rate limiting means like we are trying to, let's say, setting up some threshold about like is- the example you said that maybe someone is getting a lot of tokens from accessing the LLM. We are going to limit on that.
Yes.
So
Let
that
me
is what rate limiting means.
Yes, so let me take an example here. So along with this text fields, I've also added this place where I can upload image. Any, let me see if I have some example. I think this is a label. Yeah, this is a food label from Double Coca, and it uses LLM in the background and gives me whatever is the sugar content. So this has some 10 grams of sugar per 100 gram. Now you can see my tokens here. The credits I had was 4.8. Now it is 4.6. Uh, Forget about this, but if there is a bot that is doing this continuously and uploading images, uh, and or even a human who wants to get some 100 images scanned and understand the sugar rating for it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So then we don't want our LLM tokens to be consumed by just one user uh, or hit the rate limit because of one user.
Right.
Okay.
So that is why we ask in the prompt to limit the number of requests per minute.
Neha, if I can try to add something here. So basically, what I understand from the rate limit here is that when we deploy an application on, say, a server
Mm-hmm.
or use an LLM, we have to deal with a certain quota of LLM usage that is
Okay.
bound by rate limits. For example, in 1 hour, we can make 100 queries. When you access the application, that is one query for the sake of simplicity. If you are exceeding 101, if a bot or a army of bots is trying to access that application and there are 101 bots, then the server will crash, one, or it crosses the rate limit and you are charged because you are hosting that application. You are billed for that. Say Neha has this sugar grater application hosted somewhere on AWS, and bots attacked her application and they consume all the rate limit by too many requests. So what happens? Neha ends up with a bill, and her genuine users, humans, are not able to access it. This is what I try to, simplify it. Am I getting
Understood.
that right now?
Yes, perfect.
This is a new concept for me. It's like, yeah, I'm really loving this night build.
Sure.
I
The same
okay.
thing applies on this as well. I mean, if
Okay.
somebody wants to do a product search by URL, even there we should be applying the rate limit. How many requests can a given user make?
Mhm. Can we bake this into by means of prompt, bake this
Yes,
into the
absolutely.
application?
Absolutely, we should. And we'll see one example, I think, on the next slide, I think, of the prompt itself. Um, so that is one. Coming to URLs, we should also block any usage of uh, private IP addresses. Now here I am not storing any data in my database. So here there is no threat, but wherever we have our internal databases, let's say student grades are stored in our database. We don't want an unauthenticated user or one student to see other students' marks unnecessarily, unless
Right.
it's published on a dashboard or somewhere. So in that case, all of our data is actually stored on a private IP address. Or if we are working for an enterprise or a company, all of our databases will be linked to a IP address of some other machine or some other area where those tables are stored. And generally all of these would have similar patterns, like 127.0.0.0 is used for uh,
So,
loop back kind of applications. So
mhm.
uh, so a hacker would know where to hit. So in that case, we don't want persons to browse using the private IP address. So we block the usage of private IP addresses in the whole application. That again is done through prompting. Am I making sense?
That's good. Yeah, I never thought of this particular idea. I assume that when I submit application data, it goes into Supabase, and
Mhm.
Supabase has a different URL.
Mhm.
I never thought that probably even that getting hit by hackers, malicious actors, and they would try to exploit it.
Right, these are pretty standard. In fact, we can look up what kind of private IP addresses suspected to malicious attacks. Mm, okay, I had the list open somewhere. But this is kind of a phishing attack. It's a pretty standard practice in the hacking world. So that is
Mhm.
why we never accept private IP address. I'm not able to get the list right now. We
Mhm.
don't accept the private IP addresses on our app.
So basically, we are blocking those. I thought that they are probably blocked by the networking infrastructure, but
Uh-huh.
I now understand it is also possible via prompting within Lovable. That would be very interesting to do. Thing to do. Yeah.
So that's about the second layer, which is routing related. The last one is, I think, people working with tables would already be taking care of it. So in the database, we ensure that there's row level security. Like a teacher should be able to see all students' data, but a student should be able to see only their own data. So and this role that it's a teacher access or a student access, that role should not be stored on the profile. User profile table mein nahi hona chahiye. It should be a separate table in your Supabase.
Mhm.
Otherwise anybody would know how the role is written, and then they can tweak and get access to the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is called row level security. It most of the time this comes built in with whatever database we use.
Mhm. I did this for a dashboard that I had built for She Builds Buildathon. So I did not implement any RLS policies, row level security policies.
Uh-huh.
Here, actually, you will see, I'll try to show my own lovable project. It is actually asking me that it is showing those errors that I have not implemented RLS policies. I
Right,
should secure those. So it automatically prompts you to get that things fixed.
right.
So lovable is pretty good in that. Yeah,
Perfect.
go ahead.
So these are some enhancements. Like I said, we want to do it right the first time only. So instead of
Mhm.
saying that give me an option for uploading images through a form, we say that I want a 5 MB limit on it, and I want to sanitize using ZOD, sanitize the inputs using ZOD, and I want to apply the rate limit. right there, right at the first time we apply these checks. And in the next one, we are saying block the private IP ranges, validate with ZOD. So that's how we do it in the right at the first place.
Okay.
That's another example how we do the how we add constraints while we are doing the prompt. Yes, they become longer, but I think with Lovable we don't have the uh, uh, it has a long context window basically.
Yeah, certainly. And apart from that, Lovable also comes with the kind of rolling credits. So even if you are running out of the credits one day, you'll get at them again the next day. So you
Right,
can continue working.
right. No, but the idea is doing it right the first time.
First
And
time,
right
of
when we
course.
are designing it, we want
Hmm.
to make sure that we are doing it right
Right.
instead of adding the checks
Perfect.
later because that affects the architecture.
Correct. And actually, as I said, Lovable doesn't let you proceed. It actually
Right,
prevented me from publishing the application until I fixed those errors,
right.
those RLS policies. So obviously, I can't finish the work until I fix those errors. So better have not have them to start with.
Yes, absolutely. So the least that we can do is just use this prompt, say that run a security scan on my project, irrespective of whether it's Lovable or any other vibe coding platform. Just say this before we actually publish the project. And then it will do a
Mhm.
security scan and point out the vulnerabilities.
Right.
This is a must do
So
before publishing any project.
right. So Kritika, have you tried doing security scans in Lovable for your application?
No, I haven't tried, but it was showing me RLS security.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
So you are using some
Yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
database.
Yes, I am using it. The previously I built that little town interactive web app on She Build event. So I'm using it for that.
Okay.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah,
Yes, you
go
can.
ahead.
I'm at the end of my presentation, so
Yeah.
anybody.
Okay.
You're facing any issues?
Yeah, like the share button is not visible.
It's on the top right corner near the leave
Yeah, I have
button.
clicked that, but it says choose what to share with team.live.
Okay. The easiest way is to pick up the entire screen option because
Let
you
me
have
do
too
one
many
thing.
windows open right now. What is
Yeah,
if you
yes.
have windows, you can do something like, you create two different set desktops
Okay.
and you open
Yes.
just one. Okay.
Is it visible?
Yeah, we see your screen, but we see a browser. Yeah. What you have is probably yeah, we now see your application.
Yeah. So this was the application that I built on She Event. So what I implemented after that was that the whatever the houses are drawn by users, it will be saved in a databases. So these were the houses that were drawn by people.
Hmm. So are you facing any problem with that? Is there any
Uh,
error?
So
No,
she had a
I have
arithmetic
used the
prompt.
each function where drawings are like whatever we draw here, it should be a house and nothing else than the houses. Like if I scribble here anything, so it will not
Hmm.
be it will not be stored in that space. Like it will show some error. Like it's not a house. Can you
Okay.
see it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, I
yes.
could see that error. So that is intentional,
Okay.
right? You are showing that error unless somebody actually has some shape resembling a house. So that is intentional behavior.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I did it because I shared this link on the Twitter. So what had happened that people were drawing any inappropriate images. So
Okay.
yeah, so it
Yes,
was
yes, like
storing that
Neha
images.
said.
So I searched for it and I asked ChatGPT and other tools. So
Mhm.
then I implemented that function, like each function that it is comparing with the AI, Google Gemini.
Perfect.
Interesting.
Or it can be, I guess, as Neha said, never trust a user for any malicious content.
That's a cardinal rule, basically. You take it that your user is not going to use your application the way you intended them to use.
Right.
All right. That's a great improvement. And I'm really surprised to hear that Google Gemini could actually understand whether a shape is a house or not, because these are very rudimentary drawings. It could understand.
Like
Yeah,
I
that
did say
reminds
it
me.
too lovable. Like I didn't like command too lovable that use Gemini. It was
Mhm.
automatically using Gemini.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you are saying like so Lovable and Gemini already have connection in between automatically. You did not do any plugin or something like that.
Could we see your code? Like, Kritika, would you be able to open your application and show us the files there? Let's see.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, who was asking me? I think it was Kaushiki this morning. She mentioned something about implementing uh, voice interface using Gemini. And I at this time suggested that why don't you use 11 Labs because it is already integrated. Now you are telling me Gemini already is available. So even then, even the voice, Gemini voice, SPT, speech to text should be
Hmm.
available in that case. Okay. It shows the code. Yeah. Does it actually have? Uh, if there is a search, yeah, I think it's on the top, I think, in the navigation. Type Gemini. Let's see where it is. There should be a prompt somewhere which says Gemini and search for house. Uh, if you want to search for it, it will happen in the this navigation pane where all the files are listed. There's this, you know, hierarchy of
This
files.
one.
Huh? No, no.
Okay.
In this pane, yeah. Okay, okay, fine.
This one.
Yeah, in the code,
Okay.
see search code. There is a field here called search code on the
Search
top.
code.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Type Gemini here. Let's see what the code says here. Yeah,
It
there
is
you are.
there.
35.
Google
Yes.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it is
Wow.
simply calling that Gemini Plus.
Yes.
Yeah, see, this
Hmm.
is actually calling Gemini 2.5 Flash. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can we
Actually,
also see
2.5.
whether API key is stored? Acha, API lovable API is not configured. It says. Oh, that's just error handling. Can you
Yeah.
see where the API key is stored?
I doubt they will expose the API key,
Yeah.
Neha. I
That's
think they
exactly
have
what
the
I want to check.
See, always
they
security
won't.
mindset. That is good.
Uh, uh, I I was thinking something like they have something like Amazon Bedrock or something. Just the way Bedrock provides access to Cohere and Anthropic and other applications.
So you're
Probably they
saying it's
also
an
have that
actor.
kind of abstraction. There is a kind of LLM layer. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so Lovable is instead of directly accessing Google Gemini or other APIs, it is saying use our API key and we will let you access other LLM providers. Sorry,
yeah.
other
Exactly.
LLMs from there. That's pretty good actually. So we came to know of this because of Kritika. Kritika, you should post a message in the group that I found that Gemini is automatically used. So
Sure.
Kaushiki should be able to use Gemini TTS, sorry, STT, speech to text.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else you wanna share?
So
Or I think
no, no.
it's I think we will have now Jyoti might talk to us about DevOps aspects of the application, which is also very important.
Yeah, but means like seeing all these great demos, I am thinking means like I do not have much of a demo because DevOps is all about a concept. Um, so okay, I will just showcase what I have, but next time I will be better prepared how the audience is expecting here. Okay, why it is not allowing me? I'm selecting entire screen, but it is not
Mhm.
allowing me to go for share. Oh, okay, now
Uh,
it is done. No, 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 no. Good. It's just allowing. Good.
okay.
So you can see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I will just start with what is DevOps. So uh, if you search for Google, what is DevOps? It's a combination of two words. That is actually a concept. It's just a mindset. Developer plus operations. So the how different teams work together right now is that sorry earlier, or in fact even nowadays also, development team is different, operation team is different. Developers create the all those codes and your applications and hand over for testing. The testing team is different. Then testing done, then it goes for user testing, then it goes for a deployment, and deployment is also happened taken care by other team members. And finally the production support also done by support team. So that is how a normal SDLC lifecycle actually goes on. But when DevOps introduced, why that is introduced? Because we had different teams in silos, and there were a lot of miscommunications in between those layers. So that way the term or the concept came into picture is DevOps, where all these people come together to work as a whole team. Development, QA, your deployment, production support, all these teams, along with the business analyst, and the different stakeholders, they come together to form the DevOps team. In DevOps, normally you can see this screen contains hardly seven stages. It may be seven or eight. You will search for Google, you can get this type of infinite loop. So DevOps is actually a infinite loop. It's an incremental loop of software development. So I will take the example. So I will show the so for example, the first is you are starting with let's say planning, and you are going for the create or develop. Okay, and verify means testing, then you packaging it, and then you deploying it. Okay, so that is how the normal software development life cycle. Okay, So let's say this is the app which I created on 8th of March She Build event. So first I just gave her prompt that just create a app for the postpartum health check for the woman, especially related to those diastasis recti, weight and food. So and it should also have a login page and successful check-in, and then it should have a other, and users should have the details section to insert the details also, and then it should give the suggestion for getting healthy. So this is my first prompt, and it created the first draft. You will see. So it talked me. It told me that I am going to create all these things, set up the design system, login page, health check, and all this. Then the app was ready. Once I saw the first iteration, I went for that I need something else. So it is like the incremental stage I needed to add into my app. So, and I gave another prompt to add something here, to add the week by week exercise plans. So what I'm trying to highlight here is that we already means like you are already following these steps in your apps. So that is what the DevOps concept is, that it is actually combination. So in an agile flow, uh, okay, I will just take a step back because DevOps at the end of the day, it is a concept. So I'm just trying to get you that concept overally. That when waterfall model was there, it was first the requirement gathering, then development, then testing, then validation, then deployment. Agile came into picture so that we can have a sprint, 15 days, 7 days, or whatever the time duration. We had to go for that because we wanted to have the feedback from the customers, the stakeholders, more frequent. So that is why the agile came into picture. DevOps also have that feedback implemented in across all the cycles.
Tap play to start Luna's adventure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, something is wrong with it.
Okay, so I thought something come from this app. Okay, so sorry. Um, so in this, though feedback is not written anywhere, but in DevOps, feedback is critical and integrated with all those stages. So as soon as we are getting any issue or any feedback, the stakeholders are encouraged to give the details or to provide the feedback to the development team or the testing team or the whole team itself, so that that can be integrated as early as possible. So that is how, this is the concept I wanted to talk about. So then,
Can I stop you, Jyoti, here?
yes, yes.
Now that all those things got automated, you see, we are building application with help of this vibe coding platform, which
Hmm.
has everything, all the things abstracted. For example, they're totally transparent to us. We don't see those kind of complexity anymore. We don't see the automation. We don't see the CI/CD pipeline in the back
Hmm.
end. There is monitoring, but we don't have to do the monitoring setup ourselves. We see an analytics already. So in this scenario, whether that feedback remains relevant, because the only end of the whole process when we have the application ready and we publish it, only customers feedback is something that we need to worry about, right? Or
Hmm.
because we don't have the intermediate steps of different teams anymore. So would that remain relevant, the whole feedback?
So yes, so here comes one more concept is that, so vibe coding, you means like I will stop share. I will go face to face. Let me open my screen so that I can be on face to face. Yeah. So Neha already shown how security is integrated in the Vibe coding platform also. But the organization or the section I am coming from, like the financial section, so that area, BFSI sector. So that is a very critical and you can say controlled or regulated environment. So there, vibe coding is mostly used for the prototyping. So when I say prototyping or POC, so it is, so before some days, the project manager or the business analyst, they were creating the requirement documents via PPT or maybe some other graphical user interface to showcase their requirement. Now those people are using vibe coding to showcase a live system what they want to do. So for example, if I am a project manager and I am showing that, boss, I want this type of, this is the, sorry. So I will just go for how I can do entire screen. Yeah. So I am saying that I am a project manager and I created my vibe coding platform. So this is the app I want to do. So it is easy for me to, where I am doing vibe coding, human as a AI engineer, where AI actually taking care all the things. I am not worried about whatever the coding part, the database part, how the tables are being created and all those things. That is the people, this is majorly meant for, I'm just talking about one segment of the industry where people really do not want to worry about the technology part, technology aspect. They are going for vibe coding to showcase, to present their data in a more, I will not say presentable manner, it's intelligent manner, more crisp, more detailed manner. But if I need to apply this system to a business critical application to users which actually deals with, let's say, credit card systems or investment banking or maybe some healthcare system, so they are very critical things, then that time vibe coding may not be preferred, because they are the additional layers of securities. They will not be able to, they will not be preferred to, easy to integrate all those steps. There we will need to go for the actual coding. Actual coding means like that right now that actual coding does not exist with AI assistant. So there we will go for another concept, that is the spec driven development, and we will be doing the whole life cycle of the development, and that will something looks like, that will be following these steps. For example, in my GitLab, let's say I will use GitLab. Not sure how many, I'm sure Mugdha heard this, and I'm actually not sure about Namrata and Kritika. So I will be then writing down my GitLab CI/CD pipeline platform to implement all my stages here. So like right now, this is hardly 2 stages, like test and deploy it is written. It's a YAML file. But that project will contain different stages. The whole life cycle of CI/CD will be there in the GitLab CI/CD pipeline, and it will actually go for like, if I can talk about a simple life cycle of a GitLab pipeline. So let's say I'm going to deploy my code. So then I created a let's say simple JavaScript file I created, that is my React.js, let's say. Then it will go through the scanning, static code analysis. I will be using SonarQube for that static code analysis. I will set up the code coverage percentage, let's say at least 80% as per the industry standard. 80% of code coverage is succeeded, then it will go to the artifacts being will be generated, which I will deploy into let's say into cloud, as Neha was saying, I will not be you know uh, expose any IP addresses. So that way I will go for in cloud also. It will be 3-layer architecture. I will be going for front end, then business logic, and the database, where database and the business logic will not be um, exposed to outside, and nobody will able to access that. So that is how the whole system will be. I am actually still finding it difficult how I am going to make you understand and how much I should cover here.
Kriti,
I'm
if I can
still not.
summarize what you just said to demystify this, so what you are basically talking about is financial software needs business has is business critical software which cannot be directly exposed to vibe coding applications for development because we don't want customers' information be accessed by LLMs or any other black box piece of software. And what we are doing by means of GitLab and other infrastructure, basically, we are securing that application.
As much as possible, yes. Security from the starting point, yes.
Right. And apart from that, what else does DevOps takes care of? This is SecOps, basically security. Apart from that, what other things that we are concerned about? Are we also looking into the application performance? Are we also looking at to into error tolerance and high
Yes.
availability?
Yes. So basically, what happens? So right now, as you already said, like I have the Lovable also have the analytics part. You can easily integrate the alerting part here to that something some of your threshold you are setting, and it is going to send you the alert. So, but in case of a application which is handling millions of users per day, for example, any e-commerce site, Amazon or eBay or Walmart. So, applications on those volume, we will be setting up alerts separately in the monitoring phase. And what that mean by that? So applications, let's say my applications are hosted in any of the cloud platform, Azure, AWS, or GCP, or wherever the
Mhm.
cloud platform. I can have, there are multiple tools for the alerting, Grafana, Prometheus, uh, Splunk, Kibana dashboard, Logstash, and lot of are there. And they are
They're
easily,
basically showing what basically a particular server is, how much load it is receiving, and how the application is performing, right?
it is both. Yes, it is both. One is that we will be measuring the application performance plus the infrastructure performance as well. So in application performance, let's say if the threshold, like if you were talking about like the rate limit, we will be 200 is allowed and we will not go for the 201, it will crash. So then if that threshold is approaching, then the alert I will be setting up previously that 80%, more than 80% will send me the alert. That is from the application side. Next, from the sub infrastructure side, then it will be memory, CPU usage, and also the disk space being used. If I'm hosting a LLM there and it is at the end of the day, it is going to occupy the space. If my space allocated to my system is same threshold I can set up 80% or 90%, then it is going to send me the alert. If I have already implemented auto scaling to my system, then it is going to increase the space required by the environment automatically. That is how those horizontal scaling or the vertical scaling. By that, what I mean, if in case of, let's say, sell time in Amazon. So then I will be needing more infrastructure to support that concurrent users. So maybe that time I will be going for the number of applications, the horizontal number of servers to be increased, horizontal scaling, or maybe in some cases the access is being only one application demand is more. So in that case, I will be adding up more memory and more CPU or more space to that particular app. Then it will be a vertical scaling of that application. So there are different concepts of monitoring and how
Yes.
we are going to implement based on the need.
For Kritika and Namrata, basically imagine that you are in a store, a big GeoMart or something like that, and there were only three counters for checkout. So what Jyoti is talking about is adding when there is a huge crowd of customers and the queues are increasing, there is an alert that every queue has more than 10 people, open more counters, checkout
Yeah,
counters now. So this
Okay.
is what I can give you kind of, and
right.
otherwise also increase the memory to support more data to be held. So, for example, every person is bringing like 100 things together. So then every counter will need that kind of scanner, we'll say. So
Yes, yes.
basically, you'll need more memory to store all those things at once. So this is scaling. And when you need more, you add more counters or more server instances or what it is called. Spinning up, what is the
Yeah,
particular word?
spinning up you can say containers or pods or
Right.
apps.
Pods.
Yeah, so
Yes, correct.
yeah.
You're right. So this has to be done when you are dealing with something like Amazon. She gave a good example of at sale time when there are like millions of people shopping. At that time, a single server does not serve. So if you are creating an application in Lovable like that for shopping, you will have to make sure that you have that kind of support. Otherwise, your application will crash.
Okay.
And yeah, Jyoti, go ahead.
Yeah, so uh, that um, that was the coding part and the implementation part. Okay, these things I discussed, productivity and all those things. Basically, I wanted to show something else also. So that is spec-driven development that I will like to talk some other day. So the best practices. If I talk about the what are the DevOps best practices which we can implement in vibe coding, is that we have the first thing starts with the um, uh, database part, so which Mugdha has already shown. Um, like you start with your database first, superbase being created, and you connect that your lovable app, and it is there. Lovable is already connected to GitHub. So do make sure that whatever coding you are doing to keep a check-in, you do check-in into the GitHub frequently, uh, repository frequently. So in case you want to go back to the previous section, you can easily go there. So GitHub, all those commands like git commit, git add, git, so they are easily available. You can just practice. They're really easy. It's it does not take much of the effort. Namrata, especially for you, as you are not from no developer background, but you can
Yes.
easily do that to keep a version control of your app. So in case you missed or your system crashed, then you can go back, always go back to the repository and get a copy from there, because Git never forgets anything. Anything you are check into that is going to be there. So when I say Git
Sorry to
never
disturb,
forgets,
Jyoti. One
yeah.
second. Sorry to
Hmm.
disturb. I want to ask a question. I have already used GitHub. I have extracted the code from there. I had
Hmm.
doubt that if I want to copy the code and use
Hmm.
it in another AI tool,
Hmm.
so there is a chances of passing the API keys, I guess. So
Then you
how can
use
we
git ignore.
ensure it?
There is
So I
something called git ignore.
yeah.
Every repository has a file called .gitignore. I'll try to open one at my end at the end, and I'll show you. But basically, Git and GitHub. Git is basically something on your own machine, and GitHub is its online counterpart.
Yes,
So
yes, I
both
have
provide
already.
you an option. Yeah, both provide you a mechanism to ignore certain files. If you add the file name or the file extension in that git ignore, automatically that file doesn't get committed to, say, GitHub. It is not available. GitHub, if you have a public repository, you must have a git ignore in your local repository from where it is getting committed. So if you add a file name there, it doesn't get there. So your code, sorry, the one thing, your API key should always be saved in your OS environment. Neha, correct me if I'm wrong there.
That's correct.
Not
Environment.
that should never be used even in environment.env file or git ignore even, and other such things like variables that you have something like your folder location or something like that. For that you can use git ignore, but use it sparingly. And in any case, the API key ideally should be in your OS environment, and you never commit that ever. And anything else that you want to keep it as a secret, you add it to git ignore. That file that say for example, you have a particular piece of information like planning for your application. I always add my MD files, plan.md file to git ignore.
Okay.
So that doesn't get committed to my GitHub. So you could do the same thing with other kind of files.
Thank you so much. Got the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was my point. So when I was saying that Git never forgets, so be careful what you are going to check in there. So I was I will just share one of the other file which that contains the list, means like Mugdha has already discussed that. So when you are going to go for code check into your code base to GitHub, so the first that is actually your first line of defense. So you can have the git ignore file where you can add your API keys, your I'm showing this because I have the list here, details. So like all your environment details or your API keys or all those details which you do not want to check into the GitHub, because once it is being checked into GitHub, and whether you roll back that, but still a copy will be remain there. It is not going to be completely deleted anytime. And settings, you can also do various settings where like right now you are working alone, but when you will be working in a team, then definitely you should go for multiple code reviews, so that your code reviewers are very much careful about seeing all those details what are being checked into the code. So there the pre-commit hooks are already available. It is a matter of settings in the GitHub. You can easily do in the project settings to block commits, the git leaks, and branch protection rules also you can do. Where when I say branch protection rule, so let's say like Mugdha was talking about that time, like you have a production database which is live, and you have a development database which you are working, right? So when you have a code is already in live, so that is actually your master branch, the main branch which is live. You are not going to touch it anytime. Whenever you are going to implement a new feature, go ahead, create a branch from that and work on that. So that is what the branch protection rule or branching strategy talks about. So that is all. So as you said, the API key where you are want to store, then store it in the git ignore file.
Can I quickly show the git ignore file? For
Yes.
example, if
Yeah.
you haven't seen one. Okay. Share. Hmm. Yeah, you can on the screen see a git ignore file in one of my project that is amusingly it is security auditor. So this has a git ignore file. Let's see what are the contents. So you can see in this git ignore file, I have some internal files that I don't want to be part of the commit that I do. See, the virtual environment, which has all my libraries, I don't want that. I don't want to commit log files because they are my own. I don't want the world to see what I have been doing here. And also other kind of TSO, thumbs TV, these kind of files you exclude from your commits. So this is a good practice. So I hope it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jyoti, go ahead.
Yes. So I will again share my screen just to complete the best practices only. So yeah. So we talked about the version control part. Next, I will talk about the infrastructure and deployment part. So right now, in vibe coding, majorly, we normally do not touch upon the code because everything is taken care by the AI assistant. Sorry, not AI assistants. It's taken care by the AI itself. But when we go for a large volume of application, so in that case, when we'll be going for STD, in that case, infrastructure, let's say for example, to host my infrastructure also, I will be using that as a code. So like I'm setting up my whole system when Neha was showing, I have a database, I have a front end layer, I have a web application on the front where user is going to log in. So the whole 3 layer of application, I can do is the code format, and I can, using any of the tool like Terraform, Ansible, Chef, Puppet. So there are a lot of infrastructure as code tools, and that whole system will sit in my code repository in the form of code. I can, anytime I want to set up, infrastructure, I can just execute that based on the variable I will be passing. What is the environment? What are the environment details? And it will set up the whole system in single go at any of the environment. So that way we will be able to maintain the uniformity of infrastructure while going for different environments, lower environment, higher environment, and production environment. So that is basically, we normally do not follow in it's like vibe coding. We do not go for it, that scale of applications. So but in future, when you are going for a productionizing your app and your system is being built largely enhancing, then definitely that is a good practice that you should have infrastructure as code in the horizon. Monitoring and observability we discussed. Security things we started with, that means like as Neha started with zero trust, and Mugdha also touched upon the different users. Like my system has one admin user, and I can add different users in the admin section, as and whom I will allow, they will only be logged to my system. So that is one of the aspects. That's the best practice we should follow from the day one. It's not like security is the last part. Once the app been created and then we'll be going for the security part. No, security should be think upon as soon as we are starting thinking about the feature. I'm going to enhance the feature, adding some new details to my app, to new customer base. So then I will be thinking about what are the security aspects to that feature itself. Last thing, code quality. So like Neha said, like, we'll be following up, doing the right thing from the starting. Do the right thing from start in the single go. Uh, it may not correct somewhere. We may need to tweak a bit later, but try to get it, have the uh, prompt as much as correct on the first go with as much as details, and with the jot library hooks, and we can use that to validate the details we are putting on, inserting on input. And as I was talking about the SonarQube as the test scanning tool, using all the scanning tools, SonarQube, and later on the application testing with Prisma Scan or Veracode. So there are a huge number of tools present, to validate the applications also. So those are can be used for the code quality, check-in. So these are a few of the best practices I have just mentioned here. Some of them are validate or correct against vibe coding, and some of them not. But basically, when we are going for productionizing our system where end users data is being concerned, then definitely we should be looking for the security and the code quality, uh, uh, and security is the first point of the application, whether it is vibe coding or whether it is a normal following up your normal SDLC lifecycle with AI assistant. So, but the best practices should be there for all. Yeah,
Right.
that was the concept for DevOps actually.
Thank you, Jyotirmai. That's very good presentation and very thought-provoking. So we saw various aspects of it, say version control, CI/CD. Version control, you already saw, Lovable provides GitHub integration. Monitoring is also there because it comes with analytics. I wouldn't say it's a full blown, but analytics is there for the sake of it. Uh, what I would like to see, actually, Jyotirmai and Neha, can we try our hand at the IAC?
Hmm.
IAC, infrastructure as code. See whether a lovable application can actually scale when the number of users increase.
Hmm.
So can we prompt it and say that, say, make use of, say, Terraform, or I think there is something else called Modal that
Hmm.
I have used. I wonder if it is the same thing. And Amazon AWS also has something. I forget what's the name of it, but it also provides EC2, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. It's easy
Ha,
to.
EC2.
Elastic.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Elastic Computing Services. Yeah.
Yeah. So can we prompt lovable application that I'm expecting this application to host at least to serve at least say 1 million users? Prepare for that. Then we
Of
see
course.
whether the code actually has that kind of scaling enabled.
Hmm.
This would be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great experiment. Uh, there's one thing that is usually ignored, even in my enterprise settings that I see, which Jyotirmai thankfully addressed there in her presentation. It's about code quality.
Yes.
What happens when humans taste the application? They only taste one part of it. Okay, there is like kind of what I would say confirmation bias, whatever. They say that application behaves in X number of ways, and they say, for example, sugar value should not increase beyond 100. But they are not adding the rule about it should also not be lower than zero. So if a user enters something like a minus value, it should not be allowed for it, in that particular field. So assuming that your user can make all possible errors, you have to make sure that your application continues to behave in a certain way. And for
Hmm.
that, code quality is very important. And one more experiment here should be about testing, because Lovable also allows testing to be done. It automatically tests. So can we experiment here. We say that this is my application, test this application for all possible errors there can be, all possible wrong user inputs, and see
Hmm.
how it behaves.
Yeah.
So this could be a good experiment. We can all go
Hmm.
back to our respective applications and try that, and not
Hmm.
just in Lovable, but let's also next time when we have this event, let's also include other platforms like Replete. We could try V0, or if anybody wants to nominate any other platform, please go ahead and share this. So,
So right now in market, Lovable is the best vibe coding app.
mhm. Actually, it is affordable. Replete
Yes.
is the best vibe coding application, but it is
Okay.
so expensive
Okay.
that you work for half an hour and you blow through 20 credits. That is a month's quota. So
Oh.
Replete is the best, but unfortunately, Lovable is the second best. But the problem is, Lovable is affordable, so we can use it for a long period. Replete gets it done in a fewer iterations. Any application it does very well, but it is very
Hmm.
expensive. So we will stick with Lovable for now. And
Right.
we see, I did not expect what we saw in Kritika's application. It automatically picked up Gemini. So
Yeah.
it had some kind of, I was really surprised. This I did not expect at all. I assumed that only the connected applications that it has on its connector pages will be available to it. But I see that there are other possibilities, which is why I am quite looking forward to trying ZODC that Neha showed, and
Huh.
also let's try Terraform and what other thing was easy to. Let's see whether it
Yeah.
actually can implement that.
Hmm.
So these would be a nice experiments. So guys, we have actually used up the entire time. How was your experience so far? Did it make
A lot
sense to
of
you?
learnings.
It was great.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
learned a
I
lot.
learned something new like ZOD. Like I wasn't aware of it.
And I got
Actually,
many
I
answers
had
to
only
my
heard about it. Thanks
questions.
to Neha, I know more about
Yeah.
it. Okay, I wanted to quickly show you guys one thing, and actually this is for Namrata. You're still here, Namrata, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
she talked about, actually, I wanted to show you something. You talked about, taking your application further. So one of the things is you go out of the lovable ecosystem and actually take your application. If it is very mature and it is ready for the world, you deploy it on AWS or GCP because those are the environments where you can actually serve millions of users.
Yes,
Lovable still
I
has,
am into it. Actually,
right.
I am exploring it and doing it.
Mhm. So how you do that basically, you can take this to Cloud Code. I have a very interesting setup here. I would like to show you guys, and you can also try this at your end. So I have my lovable application connected to GitHub, and I'm also pointing my Cloud Code to the same GitHub. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens? There are two different people working. It's like my two teammates working on the same application.
Interesting.
So what
So you have
happens?
a team of your own.
Right, right. So what happens when there is an error in my application? See, we have these errors, right? So what I will do, I will go to Cloud Code. I have some project somewhere, but okay, never mind. So I go to Cloud Code. I say there has been an update on GitHub by Lovable. Now you pull that update and you work on it. So what is, for example, Sita और गीता मेरे दो team members हैं. Lovable is Sita. She has uploaded some, code update which has errors. Geeta downloads that and she works on it and fixes those errors, uploads that back to GitHub, and then Sita again pulls it back. So here in Lovable, I can continue to get those fixes. And I'm by doing that, what happens? I make use of Cloud Code abilities, which are far better in terms of error resolution Dan Lovable's inbuilt code, what you say, error fixing mechanism. So you can do that. I'll try to show where it is. There's one particular project where I am the same project that I have here, Rebuilds dashboard. The same thing is connected to Cloud Code on my local machine. And there is a kind of to and fro going between these two. And the other thing I wanted to show is, yeah, that I would rather show immediately. It is one file. Where did it go? See, once upon a time, I was a total newbie. I did not know how to deploy my application on GCP.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I asked this question to Cloud Code. Cloud Code does this kind of work very well. Even if you have something like a free version of it, it can still help you. Here I'm showing you, this is something that an application called Security Auditor that I deployed on Hugging Face. I even didn't know that back in 2025. So what Cloud Code did, it created a guide for me, step-by-step guide, explaining how to go about it, literally hand-holding me through it. All I did is ask to Claude, this is my application called Security Auditor. You look at this code and tell me how I'm going to put it on Hugging Face. I want to deploy it. So it told me you will need to create a Docker file. I say, I don't know how to create a Docker file. Tell me how to do that. So it gave me commands. These are the alternatives. And it also says this is recommended Docker file create karo. It also walked me through how to create that Docker file, gave me each and every command, also explaining to me that this is your application path. So you will have to use this path in the Docker file creation. You will have to install these many packages, everything. So you can make use of AI this way for your DevOps purpose. This is basically deployment comes under DevOps. So if you are, for example, looking for such kind of help, AI can help you this way. You can ask for step-by-step instructions and ask them to put it into a file for you, and also ask AI to identify the parts that you, the human, has to do, and the part that AI itself can do for you, execute for you. So I did not execute all of these commands here that are mentioned in this file. I asked what part you need from me as a prerequisite and what part you can execute on your own. So that also it can take care of. This is a very good way to deploy your first application. Say Hugging Face is a good place, but you can also try your luck at GCP,
Yeah.
Google Cloud Platform, like that. So this is what I wanted to show. AI is it is something that gives you not just the confidence, but also the knowledge to do things you never did before. Back in 2025, I had absolutely no idea how to create a Docker file. I created it for the first time because I had Cloud Code Cell. And now I'm attempting something like uh, creating a bitly like URL shortener for myself. You have those URL shorteners, bit.ly or
Yeah.
tiny URL. So Cloud Code tells me you don't need to use that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, you can create your own using your own domain. I have already have registered domain bmukta.in. So it tells me it's possible, and you don't need to pay a single penny to anybody. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, I did not know that. I
Oh.
absolutely did not know that. And that came from a conversation that I had with it. I keep asking. So curiosity pays here. So you can
Huh.
go to AI and say that I'm facing this and this problem. How can I solve it? Is it related to some of my existing projects? How can I, suppose you fix a problem, you can say, can I apply the same fix elsewhere? So you have this continuous conversation with AI, and you will come across many such surprises that I have. I did not expect that kind of solution, like, creating my own URL shortener. I never thought in 100 years. That was not even on my radar. So, like that, it is a great way to discover new things and find help as well. I remember when I was with SAP, I had to beg DevOps colleagues of mine to help me create service instances, which was very hard. And they would not let me access the system directly. They'll say, okay, I'll create it for you. You don't have, RBAC
Huh.
permissions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll create it for you. I'll give you like for half an hour access to it. You do what you want to do. And I'll remove the access after that
Now it is
because
easy.
Just in time access, that is called.
yes, yes, correct. And those resources have also become comparatively cheaper, except GCP. Google Cloud is still very expensive. AWS is also still expensive. You have to be very careful what you do there, otherwise you get a very huge bill shock. But yeah, experiment is open to you. Think and just try
Yes.
and speak to, it is your AI is your confidant. Talk to it, ask, and engage it in conversation, and you will learn a lot more things that even in this session that you learn. So,
Yes, even
Hmm.
I had same experience. Yesterday, amazing experience I had with my 4-year-old son. He wants to play the game. He said, "Mama, give me phone. I want to play a game." Then it just click on me. Why not build it? So yesterday, in single iteration, I built an unicorn game, which is
mhm.
also study related for him. May I have your permission
Awesome.
to share it? You can look it.
All right,
It
why
is.
not? Go ahead, go ahead. You don't need my permission. Go ahead and take control. Okay, Namrata, I have one more request.
Yes, yes. Okay,
You will have to
about
you will
camera,
have to
right?
turn on the camera. You will have
Yes,
to
yes,
in the
I am
end
having
turn on
some
the camera.
problem. Actually, the toggle option is open, but I guess something drivers related problem is occurring. So that's the
Oh,
problem.
okay.
Okay, yes. So
Oh,
is the
okay.
screen
Or maybe you can just try from your phone just to, try to log in once.
so this game
Arey
I
wow.
had made in single iteration for him to play.
Mhm.
Once upon
It
a
looks so
time,
cute.
Is the
unicorn
sound
lived in a
audible?
magical rainbow
It's
land.
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
One day, all the colours of the rainbow disappeared. The land became dull and grey. Luna must go on an adventure to bring back the colours. Learning how Luna, let's learn colours, numbers, and letters. Choose a world to explore. Can you find the great job? Can you find... Oops. Try again. Great job.
So in the end,
Can you find the purple
it
zone?
makes the rainbow
Great
at the end.
job.
Mhm.
Can you find the blue zone? Great job.
That looks quite professional actually.
Great
Right.
No,
job.
it was
Can
also
you
I
find
was
the
very
green zone?
surprised. He just
Where
mentioned
is the
it
leaf
that I
go?
want this type of game, Mama, and I was specific about prompting, and then I made it.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, you can teach your son how to build games using AI.
Yeah.
Choose a
So
world
this
to
is how the
explore.
whole game was. So now from today, information
How
super
many do
base
you
and
see?
edge functions, I
Let's
think I'm
count
going to
together.
modify this also.
Mhm. That's great.
Do you see? Yes. How many do you see? Oops.
So
Yes.
in the last,
How many do you
one
see?
second, it makes rainbow. I
Yes.
want to show that.
How many do you see? Yes. How many do you see? Yes. Amazing. Choose a world to explore. A is for yes. A is for yes. C is for yes. D is for yes. E is for yes. F is for yes. Amazing. You are sixth.
Yes.
Choose a world to explore. You
Okay.
did it. You never restored the rainbow. The magical land is colorful again.
That's how it was. It is.
Yeah, that's
Mind blowing.
awesome. Really good. Okay. Okay, everybody, give me a nice smile. I'm going to take a picture now, rather a screenshot.
I'm smiling also.
You can just put up some kind of, reaction. Try reaction. Okay. And here we go. One more. Okay, we are good. Thank you, ladies. I hope you like this event. And
Yes, very much.
what do you say? We can
Again,
have, we can do a revised time thing. We
yes.
probably, Friday may not be the right time for it because a lot of people could not make it. So let's, uh, I think, Namrata, you can stop sharing.
Okay, so sorry. Yes.
So we will have a voting again for the next session when it will happen. Not immediately next week, but the week after probably. And I would ask you guys to vote for some topic that you want to talk about. And
Hmm.
if you somebody else want to run the show, I'm very much happy that you take lead and maybe Neha or Jyoti or somebody else can take the lead this time and talk about topic that really resonates with you. But AI topic.
Of course.
Of course.
All right then. So I guess I will just close the session. Thank you all for coming and
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
share
much.
Thank
share with
you.
your group and tell them that you had a good time. You enjoyed the discussion and what we said here actually was something useful coming out of this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It was
All right
wonderful.
then.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mugdha, for hosting us.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
Thank
so much. Yeah.
Thank you for
Bye.
coming.
thank
Bye and
you.
good
Good night.
night.
Good
Have a
night.
good
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.